What's up, the squad? Back with another video. Y'all want to check out more videos, make sure y'all email me, LifeWithRecklezz@yahoo.com, or DM me on Instagram, LifeWithRecklezz. Also, go follow on Rumble, LifeWithRecklezz. I don't know my Twitter name. I always get it messed up. Or X. Y'all know what I mean. But I don't know. I'll put it, it's down in the link description box. So it's a link down there. Anyways, I'm a little sick. I'm orange juice today. It's not mimosa. It's regular orange juice. Don't drink. But had to see this video. I seen the video yesterday, and then I just dropped the other video. Make sure y'all go check that video out. If y'all haven't seen the other video that I dropped today, make sure y'all go check that out for real. Because it definitely is. It's a pretty crazy video. One of the top. I want to say one of my top 10s of the 3,000 videos that I didn't upload. That one was definitely pretty crazy. But definitely. Just got this one sent to me also. That's a new video. Definitely love this channel. And the link to this original video will be in the description box down below, so make sure y'all go check it out. Let's get a video.
Throughout the South, as we reported months ago, former Walmart buildings, which are now set up with guard shacks out front. Try to go into those facilities and you'll be met with armed security. We'll tell you to turn around and please leave. What's in those facilities? Hundreds, if not thousands, of children. The government workers take these children, ferry them to their new owners across the country. Airports. Anthony Rubin from muckraker.com is exposing this entire ring, has done an amazing job of trying to get answers.
Oh, it's another person? See, we seen Carlos. He was in the last like 2 videos. But it's another person.
About what is happening right in front of Americans' faces. They track down these federal Biden administration workers and ask them a few simple questions. Hey, where are you taking these children? You're at the airport. Where are you taking these children? Watch this.
Hey, what company you guys with? Where are you guys taking this kid? Is this your kid here? Sir, is this your kid?
That is wild.
All right, and Anthony joins us now. Anthony, great work on this. What surprised you the most when you started trying to get answers from these federal workers as to where they're taking these children and what they're doing with these children?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest thing is just the level of secrecy behind the whole thing. So when you watch that video, you'll see that, you go up to them with the camera and you ask them a question. Hey, are these your kids? Hey, where are you taking these kids? Hey, who do you work for? And the response is to, throw a mask on the kid, or to hide their name badge, or to say, get the camera out of my face. I mean, you would think if it was on the up and up that they would just be like, hey, listen, I'm not trafficking kids. I'm not doing anything wrong. Here's who I work for. Of course, sir. Of course, sir. Everything's on the up and up here. I mean, who would want, if it was on the up and up, you would want to make that very clear, right? But the fact that they're just totally dead silent, that they hide their name badges, I think, for me at least, tells me everything that I need to know.
So how did you find these individuals without revealing your sources? I mean, were you tracking them from their location, the facilities where they were keeping these children?
I'm following.
No, I mean, listen, to be totally transparent, it's not even that difficult. I mean, McAllen is a major hub, right? I mean, all these people are pouring into the Rio Grande Valley, and McAllen International Airport is a major transit point. And so all I did was I just showed up there.
So really, you just going to the airport and you seeing it in your own eyes. But I thought that they only did it at night. I didn't know they did it at daytime. So seeing that video was a little bit crazy too. That's seeing daytime, because I know a lot of, they call handoffs is at night.
I would be there from like 6 in the morning until maybe 11 in the morning, and I would just wait there with my camera. And then sure enough, I mean, there ends up being a point where they just all start flowing in, maybe from like 8 to 10 or 11, they just all start pouring in at once. And I mean, at certain points, there's just so many white vans. It's like van after van after, you can't even keep up with all of them. That's every day. And so I just did that for a few days and eventually had plenty of footage. I was like, all right, that's that. But it wasn't even that difficult. Just show up and wait.
So let's go back to the facilities then, because as we've covered here on the show with some whistleblowers who worked at these facilities, these former Walmart buildings, which are now turned into basically facilities where they're housing a lot of these children. Can you speak to those facilities, the people that are working there, what's going on there, and how are these children winding up in these facilities?
Yeah, absolutely. So they get the children after they cross over the border, and I included in my video footage of children who are coming over here drugged up and incapacitated. I mean, they look like rag dolls. So that's part of it. So then they get these children and they're putting them in these different compounds. And I stopped at about 5 compounds across the state of Texas. There's many more, but when you look at these, I mean, these are secure compounds. Some of them, there was one in Pecos, Texas. And Pecos is a very small town. I believe the population is less than 10,000, or around 10,000. Let's just be directionally accurate and say that. And there are these camps. There's 2 camps actually in Pecos. I only filmed one, and the population of those 2 camps combined is like roughly 50% of the population of Pecos itself. And so then to get deeper into it, you look at the footage of the Pecos camp, which only holds children, and it has two layers of fencing, right? So it's double fenced. There's literal guard towers on the perimeter, and it's surrounded by these floodlights. And I mean, it's anybody's guess. I mean, why is a camp that only holds children having such a high level of security? I'm not too sure. It definitely does not look good.
Facts.
So when you track these federal agents, well, I guess maybe they are federal workers. I mean, do you know what agency they worked for when you confronted them? Were you able to tell from their ID badges where they refused to tell you where they work? You're asking them and they won't tell you, right?
Right. So there was one. If you look at one of the first individuals in the video that I go after, I do a close up on his badge. He appears he works for the Department of Homeland Security, and then all the other people, as to the best of my knowledge, are working for either MVM or Southwest Key. Those are 2 government contractors that are doing this escorting operation. And if you do a deep dive into those companies, both of those companies have an extremely checkered past, especially Southwest Key, who in the past had, very recently, in April of 2023, there was a Southwest Key employee who was charged with groping children on an airplane. Right? So some of these kids are being brought into these airplanes by these escorts, and there's actually escorts that are groping them. And I mean, that's just one of the...
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. I ain't even gonna cap. I feel like that man then went to jail or whatever because he got caught by somebody that wasn't even, if this is all making sense, or it was, it was in public. But if this is happening, what's to say that anything else is not? I mean, come on. I mean, this is just common sense. A lot of this is common sense. It's sad. This is definitely sad.
One of them that's been caught. I mean, who knows how many gropers there are that are still at large right now.
Exactly.
And so the Department of Homeland Security, presumably to do what with this child? I mean, taking him to a location, to some sort of a family that's paid to have this child? I mean, where is the Department of Homeland Security involved in this process in ferrying children? I just can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, so all these children are coming over, and it's kind of a question of, well, so we have this open border, tens of thousands of children coming in every month, and then what are you going to do with them? I mean, you can't let them loose in the streets. So I wouldn't say it's so much DHS wants these kids to be sex trafficked or have their organs harvested as much as it's just out of sight, out of mind, right? Do something with them. So just ship them to the homes, and as long as they're off the streets and we don't have to deal with them, that's that. And as far as I'm concerned, that's their level of involvement of this. But that's not. I'm not saying they're washing their hands and somehow they're innocent. No, they're complicit in this operation. Absolutely. Anything that happens to those kids, they're responsible.
And we know from whistleblowers that these families, these mysterious homes where these children are being taken, often wealthy families, a lot of them in Florida right now, a lot of these wealthy families in Florida. And according to the whistleblowers, they may not really have any connection to these children whatsoever. Maybe some sort of a loose affiliation. They may be able to claim some sort of a loose affiliation.
Bro, I be seeing so many, and I know this ain't really got nothing to do with nothing, but it kind of do. I be seeing so many stuff on the news and in movies, and I know they movies is fake, but it's true story stuff, and just seeing stuff that's going on. It's so much stuff that goes on when kids are, I'm trying to watch what I gotta say because I get censored, but y'all know what I mean. Kids are going to these adults and stuff like that. What the stuff that's happening, them trying to even escape or trying to, away from it because they don't have nowhere else to go once they get, that's sad. Even thinking about all this stuff, I didn't know a lot of this stuff was going on. I know I've been living on a rock. I didn't know a lot of this stuff was going on. I just got into a lot of this 3 months ago. So a lot of this stuff is new to me, and I'm learning as I go. But this stuff is crazy. I didn't think that this is crazy. Hearing it from somebody that actually has been out there, actually seen it with their eyes, it hit different than you just hearing it on the news. And I gotta give all my thanks and give that appreciation to these independent journalists, to these people that's coming out, and speaking on certain things that I had seen and lost their job and left their job because they don't like what they see.
But they don't do any background checks to make sure and verify that this is in fact a family member that we're taking them to. They're just dropped off. They're given a lot of these they're basically children who are ferrying a lot of these kids, right? They're young men.
Yeah.
They're not older. They're just kind of fresh out of college, ferrying these children to these locations and not asking a lot of questions.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that a lot of them are ending up in Florida, which is unfortunate, right? Because Florida is such a great state, but that is the truth. And there was a Florida grand jury that was put together, and they did a whole deep dive investigating just this, right? They're investigating UACs, unaccompanied alien children that were being dropped off in Florida, and they did a whole deep dive. And they found that there were some homes that were having 100 children sent to them. I mean, who is sponsoring 100 kids unless you're trafficking them? This is all in the report, and that report's in my video. I only take out one excerpt because if I was to do a deep dive, it'd be a 5-hour video going into every little aspect of that report. But every American, everybody watching this should go read the reports that I include in the video because it goes into exactly what you're talking about. These kids, hundreds of them being sent off to one house. There's another example in that report that they mentioned. A worker for ORR, that's the Office of Refugee Resettlement. That's the federal department that's actually in charge of taking these kids and taking the sponsor that they are going to and vetting them, quote unquote. They're not actually really doing any vetting. And then, they ultimately make contact with them and place them there. And there's an example there where an ORR case manager was actually fired because they decided to do an investigation into possible human trafficking because the superiors weren't doing anything. And they were actually fired for doing that. As incredible as that is, if you could even believe that.
Talk about these facilities. Again, we've talked about these Walmart facilities, former large-scale warehouses, whatever they are, and they have guard shacks out front. You've gone to these facilities. What did you find when you were there?
It's just extremely secure. Nobody really wants to say anything. They'll harass you. When I was flying my drone, I'm a licensed drone operator, but they'll come up to you and they'll try harassing you. Hey, you can't fly your drone here. I'm like, yes, I can. I'm well within FAA regulations, sir. Like, do not harass me. But they'll come after you, and they'll do everything in their power to just scare you and get you not to film. If you're filming outside of some of these Walmart centers, you have people coming up to you, what are you doing, this and that. I had, when I was working, this isn't so much at the compounds, but when I was filming at the airport, I didn't even include this in the video, again, because it was just so much information. I didn't want to overwhelm people. But when I was filming these escorts at the airport, they called the police on me. And I had the police come up to my car, knock on my window, and they were like, sir, what are you doing? Now, thankfully, the police were on my side, but they tried harassing me like that. They filed a police report, and that's what they'll do. It's it's called lawfare, right? I mean, they'll weaponize the legal system against you and just try to scare you out of exposing them.
What about tracking these children once they leave these workers' hands? What sort of a system do we have in place that's finding out where these kids are going, or if anything? Is it out of sight, out of mind?
So what happens is ORR does a 30-day wellness check. I mean, it's not even a check. It's a joke is what it is. And so they call up the sponsor and they go, hey, we just want to verbally confirm that everything's okay. I don't even believe it's a video call. I think it's just a
So they not even pulling up. They just calling, bro. This phone call. Bro.
And as if that proves anything. And so the 85,000 missing children number, that comes from the fact that since 2021, 85,000 of those phone calls have just gone unanswered. And there's no second attempt. There's no case with Child Protective Services. There's no police report filed. The address of the sponsor isn't marked as suspicious. None of that. It's just they're just gone, and that's it. Nobody follows up. And so that 85,000 number, that doesn't include possibly kids that go missing after the 30-day wellness check. That doesn't include kids that maybe were already missing, but their sponsor picked up the phone and said, yeah, they're fine. Or kids that are just smuggled across the border and never detained by Border Patrol. I mean, that number, 85,000, it could be 850,000.
That's sad, bro.
Incredible. Talk about the numbers you're seeing come across the border. You've been to the border monitoring what we've seen over the past couple of months, record-breaking numbers. When we see these children coming across, who's bringing them? Are they coming by themselves? We had reports last week of just a 5-month-old being found laying there. Just a 5-month-old just laying there next to a barbed wire fence. No adult around. And these are the types of people that Border Protection are having to take in, pick up and do something with. So what are you seeing when you've been at the border recently?
I mean, it's all types of shady. I mean, this just over the last 30 days, I believe that the number is approaching 300,000 people in 30 days. If you could even imagine, that's just unfathomable. And so just think about the kinds of people that are crossing over, right? And think about the types of people, when you watch my video, you'll see I put tons of footage that I had of these adults, and all of the adults seem to be walking over with babies. It seems a little bit
That is sad, bro. This baby hot. You pouring water on your baby head because the baby hot. Bro, this make me sad, bro. I don't even like seeing stuff like that. Bro. I don't even like seeing stuff like that. Like I keep, y'all know I spoil my daughters. I look out them my babies. Like I swear, like them for real my babies. Like I don't care. They grow up, they still gonna be my babies. That's how it is. You feel me? Especially with having girls, it make you a little softer. You know what I mean? But it's you know, them my girls, and like seeing that, like that's definitely sad. You know, putting kids through that, putting babies through that. You know, it's traumatizing. Regardless, however, you know, oh they not old enough to, you know, man, listen. Babies are so smart. Like we're all so smart. We're human beings. Like you're going to get that you're going to be traumatized, whatever you're going through. You know, you can be in your mama's stomach still. Like a lot that goes on, you know. I don't care what nobody say. Like you can be traumatized from that. This right here is traumatizing to me. That's trauma. It's sad enough for me to see it.
But odd, right? How is it that every border crosser happens to have a baby? Right? Is that what happens? You have a baby and then you decide to cross the border? I mean, it seems a little bit coincidental, right? But then you look at some of these people, and some of these guys, I mean, full-grown men, right? It's not even a mother. It's a man carrying a baby that's knocked out, totally incapacitated like a rag doll. I mean, what is that all about?
Jeez.
And I mean, it happens every day, and Border Patrol does nothing. I have a video. I have a clip in there where Border Patrol that was in Yuma. I just caught that last month. The clip that you guys see in the video of Border Patrol talking to a guy who's holding a ragdoll child, and the guy looks, I mean, totally flustered. Probably not his child. I highly doubt it. And they do nothing about it. They're just like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's book you guys in. They don't care.
And the resources they have right now are so thin. Do you think that the Biden administration is doing anything at all to secure the border, or is this a planned operation? Because, I mean, I'll tell you how it looks to me. It looks like it's a totally planned operation.
It's absolutely a planned operation. The implosion of the southern border, it's all about Agenda 2030. Anybody that's not familiar should read the IOM, that's the International Organization of Migration, their white paper. It's called Agenda Migration and the 2030 Agenda, and that lays it all out in bare. It's about dissolving the sovereignty of the United States and bringing in millions or tens or hundreds of millions of people from the third world that do not understand what the United States is, that have no idea about our customs or our laws or our history, and the United States as we know it will be gone. That's what the agenda is here, and the children just happen to be, you know, caught up in that agenda, and they're being trafficked and exploited across the country.
How many?
Wow.
30?
Unbelievable work. I encourage all of our viewers right now to go to muckraker.com, watch the entire expose that Anthony has done, and his team at Muckraker done an amazing job of this, shining a light where the mainstream media is totally ignoring this story, and the Biden administration is totally ignoring this story. Thank you for your great work, Anthony. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it very much.
That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. I don't know. I think he's gonna speak.
Thank you so much, Anthony. We really appreciate it, and thank you for the continued support of independent journalists like Anthony. I mean, so why is Reuters not doing these stories? Why are other members of the mainstream? Why is the New York Times, with its billion-dollar budget, not doing these stories?
Well, we know why they're not doing these stories based on their reaction to the movie. The movie that was popular over the Sound of Freedom movie, is that they think that any kind of admission that child trafficking is real feeds into conspiracy theorists for MAGA extremists.
Yeah. Well, we've got more news to get to here on your Tuesday.
That's definitely sad, though. I ain't even gonna cap. I'm going into video here, but that's definitely sad, you know, even going through that, you know. Bro, you got kids. Like, I'm like seeing that little video, that little clip, you know, of that young baby, you know, like, we got a newborn, and like just seeing, like, I don't know, it just make you sad. Like, I'm a grown man, 25 years old, and that right there, I feel like that just hit me, like. And then they saying the babies be all drugged up, and like, bro, that's sad. You doing anything just to get a girl. That's, bro. I don't know. Let me know y'all thoughts down below. Definitely try to get this video out. Y'all know I be pushing, you know, to keep grinding, to get, you know, these videos out to y'all as much as possible, without getting stopped, without getting hushed. You know what I'm saying? But definitely appreciate everybody tuning in, watching this reaction. Gotta actually get to my baby. You know, we got a 2-year-old and we got a newborn. She was actually born on the 13th of September. So, newborn. But definitely still got to cook dinner. It's 5:30. So that just goes to show you how fast I be getting these videos out for y'all. 5:30. Hopefully get this video out, you know what I'm saying, as soon as possible for y'all. But definitely much love to everybody. Prayers up, you know. This is definitely a sad thing to see, a sad thing to witness. And a lot of people need to open up their eyes. Just easy, open up your eyes. But definitely appreciate everybody. Make sure y'all DM me on Instagram, LifeWithRecklezz. Y'all see all my social media down below. If y'all want to send videos, anything like that, my email, everything is down below. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody. Prayers up. You know, you already know what's going on. Hit that like button, that subscribe button. Catch y'all next one.